Hi, it's Valerie, and I'm here to teach you today how to do two-step stamping. Now, two-step stamping sounds a little bit intimidating, I know, but it's really quite easy, and especially if you use the Stamparatus, which I'm going to use today, it makes two-step stamping a breeze. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a card using the 9 live set. We'll actually make 2 small cards because I want to make one with the calico cat and one with the tiger striped cat. And so I'm going to pull out the Stamparatus and we can get started. So the first thing I did was I took the Stamparatus. As you can see, it has these 2 awesome hinged plates. You get 2 magnets, and here's one. I don't need both of them for this. If I were to put both of them on here, they would be too close together and they would smack into each other, and you don't want that because that can break your magnets. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off for now and show you. I've got the little photopolymer cat set from the 9 live set. I'm just going to place the cat on here. And I want to just flip my plate over, and then you get that cat. Actually, you can see I didn't clean the cat from the last time I stamped. And there he is. Let me get a new piece of paper under here. It doesn't matter how big or how small your paper is on this one because we're just going to punch it out. And once I get him stamped on here, I'll just cut out and then punch him. So anyway, we've got our cat on there, and I want to go ahead and stamp him first because I don't know where the other piece, the calico, is going to go until after I have this image stamped, because I need to lay that piece on top of this stamp. Now, if you were just using the regular clear blocks, you would just have each of these stamps on a different clear block and then stamp from there. So now here's the calico piece. And there's this little tiny dot in the eye. You need to line that up with the eye on your cat. Once you get that lined up, everything else lines up pretty good. The tail, sometimes if the tail on here gets moved around a little bit too much, it's a little hard to line up the tail. But as long as you have the eye and the ear lined up here at the top, everything lines up pretty good. So then just flip your other plate down. So now you know where you're going to want that stamped at. And I'm going to do this cat in crumb cake, I think. It'll be the perfect color for this cat. And so when you ink it up, just make sure you have all the spots well inked. Fold it down and press. And when you pull it up, if something isn't inked exactly the way you want it, if it isn't as dark as you want it, you can go right back. As you can see, this spot here, I apparently didn't get any ink on. So I want to go back and re-ink to make sure that spot gets inked. Press it down, and there we go. Because you're in the exact same spot on the Stamparatus, you can stamp it over and over until you get it exactly the way you want it, if it doesn't turn out dark enough the first time you stamp it. Isn't that fabulous? I think that's one of the best things about the Stamparatus. And when you're trying to do two-step stamping especially, because sometimes you don't get as much ink coverage on that stamp as you want, and when you stamp it, you may, like I did, miss a spot, or it may just be a little bit lighter here and you want to go back and re-ink it. And if you try to use it just using plain blocks, it's hard to get it lined up exactly the same again. So that's where the Stamparatus is one of the best tools to use for two-step stamping. I'm going to use a wipe here that I used earlier. And I'm just going to clean my stamp off with it. And I'm going to go ahead and set this stamp aside. And I'm going to get out the tiger stripe. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this paper off, and I'm just going to use a pair of scissors to just cut him out a little bit. And I have another sheet of 3x3 here that we'll just put back up in the corner, hook back down with our magnet, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to stamp that cat first, and then we will line up the tiger stripe to stamp on the cat. And I think, and look again, see, I didn't quite get my tail there. I didn't push it down enough. So I'm just going to ink that tail a little bit. And it's easier when you stand up and do it, and I was sitting down to do that, so it's easier to stand up and do it. All right, same thing here. We've got the little tiger stripe cat. We want to make sure the ears are lined up good so it fits around the cat's face well. And now that we have it in place, we will just go ahead and take that second plate, stick it down. Don't you just love this Stamparatus? I think it's a fantastic tool. And I'm gonna do this one in Cajun Craze because it's a little bit darker orange and I thought that would look pretty. And don't worry if you if you get ink on your plate, it's not going to press down onto your image. So you don't have to worry about that. Look at that cat, isn't he adorable? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set the Stamparatus aside and I'll just show you how to finish up these two quick cards. So what did you think? Do you think two-step stamping is something you could do? If so, give it a shot and post your pictures on Facebook. Show people what you've done. Okay, I'm gonna take my memento and just cover that up as well. And now I've got the cat punch and we're gonna go ahead and punch these out. And now a lot of times two-step stamping is, there's a lot of floral stamps that we sell that have two-step stamping. We've got these awesome cats in 9 Lives. We have the set with the dog, which also does the exact same thing. It does like the little spots with the fur for the two-step stamping. And for some reason, I'm drawing a blank on what the name of that stamp set is, but it is in the Occasions catalog, which runs through May 31st. I'll make sure I get him lined up. We got those awesome cat punched out. And now what I did was I wanted to just do something quick and I wanted to show you how awesome our Whisper White note cards are. So I just grabbed 2 of the Whisper White note cards. I cut some cardstock and I have a couple of rectangles that I cut using the Big Shot. I'm gonna get my bone folder, fold this down. And I thought, you know, I could just do the video and just show you how to do the two-step stamping and move on, but I thought, why not just make a couple of cute little cards so you can see how you can use those cats on your cards. And I wasn't sure what colors I wanted to use, so I thought, well, I'll just go with some of the Subtles colors with the Subtles DSP, which is just, actually, maybe we'll leave that. No, we'll keep it polka dots. I don't want to switch it to stripes now that I've already had it in my mind what I was going to do. So I'm just going to use some snail and adhere layer the pieces of cardstock. And you can use any of the colors, the brights, the neutrals, the regals. And they all make for great cards. But like I said, these note cards are 3.5 by 5. They come with envelopes and they're already pre-scored, so it's super simple to make a cute card using them. And I don't know, I think I might need to color the cat in just a little bit, maybe with a light crumb cake blender pen, just so he has a little bit of color to him besides just the orange and white. Maybe just add a little bit of light crumb cake in between those stripes. Just give him a little bit more. I think that adds a little bit to him. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to do the entire cat, although you can if you want to, but I kind of just like doing just some little sections on this cat. And I'm gonna add some dimensionals to the back of him because I want him to stand up a little bit. And I'll do the same with the calico cat. We'll just add some dimensionals to the back. And then on these 2 little rectangles, I'm gonna stamp probably, there's You're the Cat's Meow, which I thought was a cute one to use on this. And there's also A Friend Like You comes around once in 9 Lives. So I'll probably do, I actually think I'm just gonna do the Cat's Meow. I think that one's cute because it'll fit perfectly on these little rectangles. But I'm not gonna use the Stamparatus for that just because that is a small piece of paper and to try and hold it with the magnet and fit the stamp on there is a little difficult. Now, had I stamped it first on the Stamparatus and then went ahead and used the dies to cut it out, that would have been fine. But being it's a smaller sheet of paper, since it's already cut out, it's a little bit difficult to use those magnets and hold it down and be able to get your sentiment stamped on there. So I will go ahead and I've got my little block. We're gonna put You're the Cat's Meow on there. And then there are some other cute little stamps that have a little, there's a ball of yarn, there's some little hearts, there's bows, that you can put a bow on your cat, which I think is really cute. So all I'm gonna do is just stamp with Memento ink. Just stamp it on that little rectangle, and that's gonna go on the card. And then I thought I wanted to add maybe a little bit of ribbon to this, so I'm gonna use some of the polka dot twill ribbon, and I'm just gonna cut a little piece off with my ribbon scissors that I'm using here. And I'll just cut a little piece for each one. It doesn't have to be any particular length because I'm just gonna knot it. I'm just gonna go ahead and knot it. Sure, Val. Got this Band-Aid on my finger. I sliced my finger a little bit earlier on a yogurt lid, if you can believe that, but that's what I did. And then we'll go ahead and knot this. So it's making using ribbon and things like that just a little bit difficult today for me. Go ahead and knot that. And then I will take those scissors, so I use my little paper snips here, and I'm just gonna cut the ends off at an angle. And it's nice because you can follow those polka dots right across to get the perfect angle. When you cut, I don't know if you can hear it, there's a little bit of thunder outside right now. We've got some storms rolling through. So I thought it was a perfect day to do some crafting. Okay, so next we're just gonna adhere the cats on here. I'm just gonna move it down toward the bottom right. This is gonna go right up here on this corner, and I think I will put dimensionals on the back of that as well. And I'm gonna do the same for this second little card. Since we did 2 cats, we might as well do 2 cards. I thought about putting them on the same card, but I kinda like the idea of just having 2 separate little cards here. And like I said, you could do any colors of designer series paper. This is just what popped into my head when I was just sitting there, and I'm using what's left of my dimensionals. Don't throw away these little edges, you can use them. They peel right off. They're the exact same material as the dimensionals, so there's no point in wasting those. You've bought them, use them. I'm gonna stick this You're the Cat's Meow right here. And I think I might want to stamp maybe one of the yarn balls on here or something. Or maybe the little hearts. We'll do the little hearts, that'll be cute. So you've got these cute little hearts. I just need to get a little block. And we'll go ahead and do those in Poppy Parade, one of my favorite colors. Just stamp it on the card there. You can put them anywhere really. Maybe we'll put some on this side too, just behind the tail. And maybe up here in the corner. Just gives it a little bit of extra. And then we've got our little pieces of ribbon that we tied in the knot. And we will use the glue dots for that as soon as I locate my glue dots. Here they are on this side. I thought I had them on the left side of the desk, and they were on the right. And I just stick that little knot right on there. And then I use my paper piercing tool to pick it up. And I'm just gonna put that ribbon right at the bottom of that little white rectangle where it says You're the Cat's Meow. And I'll do the same with this one. And you've got that cute little piece of ribbon on there. And maybe we'll add one more little stamped heart right here since the ribbon is over a little further than I originally intended. And we'll just add those little hearts on there. That just gives it a little bit something extra. So that's just a cute little friendship card that you can make. And like I said, I just wanted to show you how simple 2-step stamping is using the Stamparatus. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will answer them for you. And I will see you next time when I make another technique video. Have a great day. Bye.